Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are tackling a critical strategic imperative for academic leadership: why STEM disciplines require a distinct and highly specialized approach to generative artificial intelligence. General AI guidelines certainly matter, but as we will explore, STEM fields demand highly specific standards for rigor, verification, transparency, and accountability.
We'll be moving through a quick executive summary of this framework today. We will start with the baseline premise and then explore the STEM disciplinary distinction, building a verification culture, redesigning assessment, preparing AI-augmented professionals, and finally, developing an institutional integration strategy.
Broad university AI policies are absolutely necessary for baseline ethical guidance. But here is the critical distinction. For STEM higher education, those broad policies are simply not sufficient. We must augment them with disciplinary specificity, focusing directly on technical reliability and scientific validity. A general policy alone cannot meet the unique demands of a STEM curriculum.
Let's dive into our first major area, the STEM disciplinary distinction, and why we need to look beyond just originality and disclosure.
Think about what STEM fields actually depend on. We are talking about formal reasoning, empirical validation, mathematical modeling, and absolute reproducibility. Because of these stringent requirements, we cannot just evaluate the use of generative AI by checking for plagiarism or whether a tool was disclosed. Those basic checks do not address technical accuracy or professional accountability.
The deeper question we face is whether AI-supported work remains scientifically valid and technically reliable. Generative AI often produces outputs that appear highly coherent and persuasive while simultaneously concealing fundamental errors in reasoning, calculation, or code. In STEM contexts, those fluent but unreliable outputs directly impact laboratory safety, physical procedures, and professional judgment.
Which brings us to our first strategic pillar: building a verification culture.
To build this culture, we need to embrace the concept of provisional artifacts. When an AI generates an explanation, a mathematical model, or lines of code, it cannot be accepted passively. Students must learn to treat these outputs as provisional, requiring disciplined review, testing, reproduction, and rigorous mathematical justification. We once transitioned from passive consumption to active verification.
Moving on to Pillar 2, redesigning STEM assessment.
When generative AI can rapidly produce polished solutions, traditional assignments lose some assessment validity, so our focus has to pivot. Assignments must now emphasize methodological transparency, process evidence, oral explanation, and technical walkthroughs. We are shifting from evaluating the final output to assessing a student's underlying reasoning, their validation steps, and their ability to make defensible decisions.
Next is Pillar 3, preparing AI-augmented professionals.
Looking ahead to the careers of future scientists, engineers, and health technology professionals, we recognize they will be working in heavily AI-augmented environments. Universities have a profound obligation here. We must prepare students not just for operational efficiency, but to navigate, design, modeling, and simulation tools responsibly, critically, and transparently.
And our final pillar, the institutional integration strategy.
A coherent institutional strategy requires breaking down operational silos across the campus. We need to connect classroom pedagogical transformation directly to data analysis, research workflows, and university-industry alignment. Whether it is teaching laboratories, software development, or scientific communication, the integration must be comprehensive and unified.
Ultimately, the goal is responsible GAI assimilation. We are carefully balancing active innovation with rigorous professional standards. A distinct STEM strategy helps universities avoid two very problematic extremes: unrestricted experimentation without sufficient verification, and overly defensive restriction that stifles pedagogical progress. STEM simply requires additional layers of disciplinary specificity to protect its academic quality.
This explainer is based on Assimilating Generative AI in STEM Higher Education by Dr. Yaron Ghilay. As academic leaders, the critical question is not just whether your institution has an AI policy, but whether it possesses the targeted disciplinary strategy required to protect academic quality. How will your institution ensure that AI assimilation preserves the rigorous proof, safety, and reproducibility that makes STEM education professionally trustworthy? Thank you for watching this explainer.